Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Janet Yung, and in my channel I share about Feng Shui, Bazi, entrepreneurship as well as personal growth, especially from the areas of communication, motivation and success. Welcome if you are new to my channel, and welcome back if you have been visiting my channel. Today is the 2024 forecast for those born with the horse as well as the goat within their charts. And for the horse, it basically ranks 7th in the average group, whereas the goat, congratulations, you are actually in the best group, ranked 5th. Now, why is this the case? I will share with you more in the next segment. Now, before we move on to that, I would like to highlight that the system that I'm utilizing in the bazicalculator.janetyong.com, the link that I'm pointing to here, it's based on the solar system, where each new year it's starting on the 3rd or the 4th of February every single year, similar to that of the Feng Shui system. Traditionally, a lot of us grew up knowing that the animal horoscopes are generally based on the start of every Chinese New Year, which is based on the lunar calendar. That's why there's some confusion and the questions raised in my channel. I hope this answers it. And I will see you in the next segment, where I'll share more about the 2024 forecast for those born with the horse and the goat within their charts. Hi, welcome to this segment of the forecast for those born with the goat and the horse within their charts. Now, before we begin, I'd like to cover what it means by having the animals in the various different pillars. So if you are already very familiar with Bazi and have been on my channel for some time, or you're already someone who's familiar with Bazi and know that there can be up to 4 animal horoscopes within a person's chart, you can go straight to the forecast for the individual horse or the goat horoscope that I've indicated in the video description. For those who are new and wonder what I'm talking about, let me share with you. Basically, based on the year that we are born, that means traditionally how we look at a Bazi chart. If you're only looking at the year you are born, you're actually only looking at 12.5% of the forecast, which generally means only 12.5% accuracy. So why is this the case? Well, in Chinese metaphysics or the Chinese calendar, just like in Gregorian calendar, there's January, February, March. But in Chinese calendar, these are indicated and represented by the different animal signs. So a person can be born in one animal horoscope year, and then the month, as well as the day and the hour, and all these animals can be different or it can be the same, and therefore one person can have up to 4. Now, what does each of these animal horoscope represent and mean if they are at different parts of your Bazi pillars itself? So let me share with you in this next slide. And if you have not already downloaded, please remember to scan this QR code or go to bazicalculator.janetyong.com to get your free Bazi chart. Now, in the year pillar itself, if you have the animal horoscope there, in this case is that of the goat, you will basically be reading it in representation of what it means of the stars in terms of interaction with your bigger company, bigger industry environment, as well as at home. It could be your grandparents, in the office, in terms of relationship, it could be your boss's boss as well, or your social circle of friends. Now, the animal that you want to look out for if you are actually interested in understanding what's happening in your career in the new year should be the animal horoscope sign in that of the month. So in this case, it's the tiger. What does it represent? The tiger stars, its luck, represents what you can see for yourself in terms of career this year, especially from a mindset perspective, as well as your relationship with your immediate bosses or your immediate department. Now, if there's a clash in this particular pillar, that's when we say that there will be a change of your company environment or your bosses. Now, for relationship perspective, at home, it could be with relationship with your parents or your mentors as well. Now, the day generally represents what you are feeling for that year, as well as your relationship with your spouse, with your peers, with your siblings, for instance. and the animal horoscope that you usually will look at is under the day, as shown here. In this case is that of the rooster. Now for that of the hour pillar, generally the animal horoscope usually gives us an insight in terms of what are the stars that are aligned for us in terms of our investment luck, what would happen usually when we take actions for that year. And from a relationship perspective, it could be relationship with our subordinates, and if you are married and have children, it will be with your children as well. Let's move on now to take a look at what is in store for those with the horse within their charts. Now in this case, you can see that the horse is ranked 7 in this animal race itself. And why is this the case? It's the case because you have the auspicious stars of the sky relief and 8 seeds. Now what does it mean by these two auspicious stars? The sky relief star generally represents someone who's able to solve problems in this new year. So this year you'll be kept pretty busy because there will be plenty of problems for you to solve, and in what aspect it will depend on whether the horse is within your year, month, day or hour, which I'll cover a little later on in this video. Now the next star would actually be the 8 seeds recognition star, which is great because then after solving the problems, you get recognized and have authority in terms of the ability that you have or the talent that you show. So in this case, if you're on social media, for sure this year you will gain followers, have lots of recognition at work. If you're able to solve the problems, that will be great for you. Now, the key for you is then the willingness to step up and showcase your creativity and talent so that you can be recognized and receive the abundance that you are actually looking for, especially from a career and recognition perspective. However, there are also some inauspicious stars. Now there's the disaster star, the injury star. So it is crucial for you then to watch out for the areas that you'll be traveling to this year because of these disaster star, especially also the funeral door star, which can bring some mishaps or some issues if it's an elderly at home. Within the horse horoscope itself, there is also the 7 accident star, which I'll cover a little later on. Now let's move on to what happens when you have the horse within each of the different pillars within your chart. If you have the horse within your year pillar, then generally what will happen is your bigger company environment or bigger industry environment would be placed in a position where you have to basically solve a lot of problems because of the sky relief. And of course, because of that, the company that you are in will then be recognized within the industry itself for being able to deliver on the specialty or the focus or niche that it is in. Now, if your role within the company is in terms of solving problems, then you're also in the front line. For sure, you'll be recognized. That's how it will translate from the year down to your individual career. Now, if the horse is actually within the month, then congrats. This is basically your year in terms of showcasing your creativity, talent, and intelligence, especially in terms of solving problems within your department. However, do take note that what comes with it, of course, is then you have to watch your health as well. If it's within the day, then it's probably your spouse, your peers that is receiving these problems that they have to solve. And then as a spouse yourself, you should generally be willing to support. Now, in the day with the injury and disaster star, of course, from a personal health perspective, this is one year that you need to take care of in terms of your health. And then if you have the horse within the hour, it could be your children receiving the recognition, your subordinates. Therefore, if you are boss in terms of developing their talent, this is one good year to do it. Now, the other thing, of course, is the hour represents basically your action. Therefore, by taking the right action in helping people resolve their problems, you will then receive the recognition that you wish for. So that's basically the horses within the different pillars within our budget chart itself. Now let's take a look at why did I say that it's an issue from a disaster and injury perspective. Because the horse is located within the South Palace. Now in the year 2024, the South Palace actually has the 7 accident and aggressive star. So generally speaking, if you have the horse within your chart, or even if you don't have, you spend a lot of time in the south, generally speaking, it will be a year where you'll be meeting with more obstacles, challenges, and if you are flustered because you have too many things to do, trying to solve many problems, and you're not careful, then you can get into any accident or injury. It's also a star that can make you a little bit aggressive, and from a health perspective can have respiratory issues. So it's very crucial, if you do have the horse within your chart, it's good that you try to avoid and not spend so much time in the south in the new year. Now let's move on to those born with the goat within their charts. Now let's take a look at the goat as to why it's ranked one of the best animal signs in the year 2024. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's ranked 5th in the best group. If you look at the auspicious stars, there's a whole host of nobleman stars within the goat's chart. You have the moon, which usually represents female aid or female mentor, especially from a financial perspective. So if you are willing to take the step to learn and be the right student, your master will definitely appear for you this year. And especially when you have a lot of helpful people, for instance that from the heavenly E, you will generally be able to resolve a lot of issues, therefore garnering the authority and assistance that you are looking for this new year. However, there are some inauspicious stars. You do need to take care of where you're traveling to and your health. And usually, when do mentors and helpful people appear? They appear when you have setbacks, right? So though there's inauspicious stars from a setbacks perspective, so long as you are willing to step up, to ask for help, there will be assistance around you that you can basically look for. Now, let's take a look at what it means by having the goat within the different pillars in your Bazi chart. If the goat appears within the year, then of course from a bigger industry environment, your boss's boss, or your general bigger company environment, or your social circle of friends, including if from a family perspective, your grandparents can be your helpful people, be it helping you resolve problems, setbacks, or helpful for you in terms of financial knowledge, intelligence. That's one great news for you this year. Now, if the goat is within the month, it's even better. Basically because from a career perspective, you will definitely be able to receive the assistance from people around you, especially your immediate boss or your immediate department, or if you are willing to seek out mentors. It's a good year for you to basically bring your financial skill sets to the next level, especially when the moon star is there. And a lot of times when we have setbacks, lessons, or what we call failure, I recently came across this sentence which I really like. There's usually either win-win situation or lessons to be learned, never failures. So though there are setbacks, it's really a lesson learning time, and this will be a great year for you to do so. And if you have the goat within the day, generally speaking, it would be probably your spouse, your siblings, or your peers that are your helpful people, or they will be of aid, especially if they are female, from the perspective of financial. If you have the goat within your hour, congratulations. From an investment perspective, definitely this is one year that if you are willing to take the calculated risk, you can see some financial gains. However, this is only one part of your chart. It's still crucial for you to be cautious, to learn whatever that you can, spend time in the auspicious sector, which I'll cover coming up in the 2024 forecast series from a feng shui perspective, in order for you to maximize your gains. And another good thing that I'd like to share with you for the goat is the goat is born within the Southwest Horoscope Palace, and this is the first year where we are recognizing the number 9 as the annual wealth star. So the 9 wealth star in period 9 in the Southwest sector will enhance those born with the goat within their charts. The key is then spending time in the Southwest sector, engaging in the relevant activities, especially if you are looking at financial gains, learning the skill sets to help you move further in financial, or when you're trying to solve problems and help people, spending time there thinking and researching about the issues itself will definitely aid you in the new year moving forward. I hope you have enjoyed what I've shared so far for those born with the horse and the goat within their charts in this particular video episode. And coming up next week, I will share what's in store for those born with the monkey and the rooster within their charts. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.